Alright, welcome back. Now, a lot of you guys wanted to see the E.B.R in action, and well, I'm more than happy to drive this tank. So, this is the E.B.R, a French light tank. Now, this is a tank with wheels, and I have to say, it's a very interesting one. It has a very good looking design, I must say. Okay, now let's take a look at the tank stats. It has a 75mm main cannon. Its top speed is 105 km per hour. Its reverse is also 105 km per hour, which is interesting since when you look at the tank, it looks exactly the same from the front and from the back, which probably it's probably one of the unique traits of this vehicle. Specific power 16 horsepower per tons. It has 13 tons. For crew members, penetration 104 millimeters. Reload is 5.7 seconds. Turret rotation speed 26 degrees per second. Now, since this is a light tank, it basically has no armor, so you can't really rely on the armor to survive. Mobility and speed is the way to go on this tank. So, time to show you some battles. Okay, let's go to the first battle. Now, as I mentioned, this thing is paper. It has basically no armor, so you have to rely on speed and mobility. You also have to rely on the cover that you can find, but if you are quite careful, then this thing can be a very nice flanking tank. So, luckily this map does offer some very nice positions, and it is recommended to... I mean, it goes forward and backwards basically the same way, so you don't have to really angle the tank. However, I have to say it's kind of interesting to look at that armor graph. Somehow the sides are more protected than the front. Not really sure how that happens and how that's possible, but that's also one of the interesting traits about the E.B.R. Now, as for the ammo, you have APC-BC and you have high explosive. However, the penetration isn't the best. You can penetrate most tanks from the side, but from the front you can't really penetrate any heavy tank. In some occasions, if you do hit the weak spot on some of the heavy tanks, you can penetrate the frontal armor, but if you do strike the frontal plate on most of the tanks, it is just not going to go through. That is because this 75mm cannon is quite short and the projectile velocity isn't that good. So you really have to rely on flanking, and you have to engage targets from the sides. Of course, that was actually a lucky hit. Did not expect to hit, but it did. Now, when the shell does go in, I have to say that it does some good damage. It is not like the shells on some of the other tanks that go in and don't do anything. The APC-BC shell on the E.B.R is really good. The only downside is it can't really penetrate a lot, so you have to rely on flanking, and again, you have to move around a lot in order to get a good shot at the weaker armor on your target. Now, it has a very good smoke screen. Basically, when you click on the smoke screen, you can't see anything, so that's fantastic for cover. Basically, anything can go through your armor, even a machine gun. So you have to be careful not to get shot by anything. And this position seems to be really good. Now, this tank does play in a very interesting way, because AT-34, nice shot at the side, and that was a good hit. You can easily peek from cover and go back to cover, since it goes both ways with the same speed, and that's one of the most interesting things about this tank. Now that's a KV-1, and from the front only, well, that was actually 1 in a million. That was 1 in a million shot. Did not expect that to go in, but if you do hit the driver's hatch from the KV-1, yeah, it just kills the tank, because there's basically no armor there. That was a lucky shot. As you could see, I wasn't able to penetrate the turret of the KV-1, but I was able to penetrate the driver's hatch from the front. One of the rare occasions where shooting the front of the tank is much better than shooting the side turrets. If I shot at the turrets, it wouldn't have went through. So that was a good kill. Now where are the enemies? The base is right over there, literally like across the street. Okay, there is one T-34. I have a good view on the sides, and as you can see, when the shell does go in, it does some good damage. It has a very quick reload time as well, which is fantastic. This is overall a very interesting vehicle. I also like how the wheels are also different. The steering wheels are basically normal wheels, but the middle wheels are different. I guess they are designed to help the tank move through rough terrain. Meanwhile, the front wheels are basically both turn. The front and back wheels do turn, and that's also very interesting. Overall, this is a very interesting tank. I like it. Surprisingly, a very fun tank to drive. Although it is paper, it has no armor, but besides that, its speed is really good. Well, I think it's one of the fastest tanks in the game. 105 km/h top speed. Not sure if any other vehicle can get to that speed. I know the Concept 3 is fast. One of the recent light tanks that I was also driving was really fast. And this thing, I think this thing is the fastest tank in the game at the moment. Okay, time to move a little bit forward. It is a little bit too quiet for my taste. Although I have to say, this tank is a little bit difficult to drive, since you really have to rely on maneuvering around and flanking. You can't just go yeet forward and expect to live, mostly because of the non-existent armor, and secondarily because of the weak penetrating power of the main shell. Well, those were some 2 good kills. This position seems to be working really well for this tank. I love it. That's a nope. That's a big nope. That's a 152mm cannon. I do not want to be near that. But I did manage to penetrate the front of it. Surprisingly, I did not expect that to happen, to be honest, because the SU-150 is based on the KB hull, and I expected it to have the same armor. But I guess it went through. Okay, let's see if I can. Yeah, that was badly aimed. But do not want that cannon looking at me. However, I will have to kill it, since that tank destroyer is kind of a threat, so it has to be eliminated. And I'm actually very close. I'm actually in their base. T-34 fortunately did not go through. Have to be careful. That T-34, if they want to kill me, they can kill me, and of course they're looking at me. But another good hit at the turret ring, and the T-34 has been destroyed. The destroyer tried to get me. Nope, not they. Why didn't they? Hold a second. Why didn't they try to kill me? What happened there? I have no idea. Maybe they went after the Tiger. They thought that I wasn't a threat. Well, that was a mistake. Most of the tanks can penetrate the SU's side armor just fine. Now, am I going forward or backwards? I'm going backwards, okay. T-34. Nice, okay. Another kill. You can get kind of confused if you don't pay attention to the orientation of the tank, since it looks the same forwards and backwards, so you can kind of get confused what is forward and backwards. Not necessarily a bad thing, but you know, it is interesting, to say the least. Okay, now I'll try to go in this little hole, since I have a bad feeling that something unexpected will happen. And I think only two tanks are alive, so I can't really make any mistakes. If I do, we might lose the match. Oh, there we go. Okay, that worked. I was bait, and my teammate did kill the T-34. They might have one more tank, but not really sure. Or perhaps that was the last one. If that was the last one, that would be a really solid match. And it was the last one. Nice, that was a good victory. That was a very good match, very well played. And honestly, as you can see, I really do like the E.B.R. Okay, let's go to the next round. Same map, but different objective. Now, as I mentioned on the start, you can't really penetrate the front on most of the tanks. You really have to rely on shooting the weak spots or shooting the side. So, yeah, that's what happens when you get shot by a T-3485. The T-3485 is, I think, the best tank in the tier. Best tier 3 tank. Just because of how well it performs. I did drive it, and I did max it out. It's a fantastic vehicle. As you can see, it penetrates tigers without a problem. Now, I'll try my best to... That was a good hit. It was a nice shot at the side armor of the Tiger H1. And as you can see, it blew the tank up in one solid hit. Now this is the thing about the tank. If it penetrates, it kills. And I actually prefer that type of ammo and that type of main gun than to have a gun that penetrates but doesn't kill. There's a lot of tanks that have AP or APCR that struggle to kill a tank in the first hit. This one doesn't struggle with that. It penetrates easily. Now that was a Tiger, and they are far away behind that. They're basically behind those wagons over there, or that behind the train. And that's another Tiger, and I almost messed up. Almost showed more of my tank than I should have. And I'm looking at them to see if they will... Yeah, they moved, okay. I might... Uh-oh, that's not good. And they killed my driver. Let me see if I can do something silly here. They have a long reload. I'll just shoot at the dirt, at the gun. That worked. The Tiger lost its main gun now. As you can see from the front, maybe if I manage to put a shell right through the machine gun port, I might kill it, but besides that, from the front, you are not going to penetrate the tiger with the E.B.R. So I will move a little bit forward and I'll try to flank the tiger. They are in the smoke, which does help me actually, since they don't know where I'm going. Or they know where I'm going. Okay, it seems like they were on to me. Now the thing is, I'm much more mobile, I'm much more maneuverable than a tiger, and I have teammates watching my back. So the tiger got baited and the tiger got killed, just like that. Okay, nice. Now the base hasn't been captured yet, and let me try to rotate this. Now this thing doesn't really rotate around like a normal tank, since it has wheels. You have to turn the wheels and basically follow the direction of the wheels. So that might be a bit different from the normal tanks, which can just turn in place. This tank can't really do that. However, this thing can drift. This thing can drift really easily. That was a terrible shot. That was a terrible shot. Could have shot the T-34 in the roof with no armor. Would have killed it in one hit. The track ate the shell. Did no damage. It is to expect that. I mean, it's a T-34 85. The T-34-85 is just a tank like that. Very hard to penetrate for some reason. But that did penetrate side of the turrets. And the second shell did go in and basically knocked out the tank. Nice. Well, so far it looks to be like a smooth match. Now, if you want to kill a E.B.R, don't shoot it with AP. Use high explosive. It has basically no armor, and if you hit the E.B.R with high explosive, it will just pop. But if you shoot it with armor piercing, with the exception of AP-HE, most of the AP shells will overpenetrate and basically you risk to do little to no damage. So either AP-HE or use HE ammo to kill the E.B.R. Well, looks like my team didn't need me to jump in an aircraft. They killed the enemy bomber easily. But I'll still fly around with this fighter. Honestly, the planes are really fun to fly. The air mode will be very fun. No idea when the air mode will be released, but I can tell you it's going to be very fun. The controls are not that bad. It does take some getting used to, but nothing, you know, nothing too serious. Okay, I can't really penetrate the roof, and I might be dead or not. Okay, good. That was some good piloting there. Although almost crashed into the teammate, which would be funny. Okay, let's go a little bit forwards, and yeah, we killed. I think that was the last tank on the team. Good chance that that was the last enemy tank on the team. All in all, this was a very good match. Well, very good match. It was pretty good. And the hostile team has left without tanks, which means a victory. Alright, well, let's go to the next match with the E.B.R. Oh, same map, but different objective. Now I have to go and capture the zones. Okay. Now here, since I have basically no armor and I don't really trust the internet, I'll go here, and I will be camping this little spot. Hopefully, when enemy tanks are coming in, I might get some good side shots at them. That's one of them. And there's a crack. There is a crack in the wall, and the first shell went in top of the turret. did some good damage actually. Second shell also went in, did even more damage. And third shell, the tank has been destroyed. That was a nice one. Very nice Tiger, also destroyed. Very nice shot at the side. Ammunition exploded. Nice. This is a very good position for this tank. When the enemy team is rushing in, you have a good view on their sides, so you can just put shell after shell in them. But you have to be careful not to get spotted, since if you get spotted, you will have to go to cover. Definitely do not want to get hit. Now on the map I see two tanks, but I don't really see them visually. They're behind the building, I think. I would go and capture the base, but just not really. It seems kind of fishy to go in, especially if they are waiting for me to do that. But we have a teammate on the right side. There's a tank. Yeah, I knew that they were behind the wall there. Not really sure what tank it is, but whatever it is, it sure can go through my armor, so I have to be very careful. Okay, well, something happened to our teammate, which means now it's all down to me. I can see them on the map, but no visual. Oh, there it is. A T-34, and yep, let's not play around with that. Let's just go to cover. There we go. I could have shot at the side, but my reflex wasn't fast enough, unfortunately. So they angled the armor, and I can't penetrate the front of the T-34. Now, not really sure where they're looking at. Maybe they're looking at the Tiger. If they shoot, I can peek out and shoot at them. I'm looking at the T-34, waiting for them to shoot. Okay, they fired. I think I have a chance to shoot at them now. Okay, let's see. Can I penetrate the turret ring? Nope. Nope. Yeah, that's not going to penetrate. Let's see if I can shoot the lower plate. Nope. It can't penetrate even the lower plate. Let's see. Oh well. Yeah. From the front, probably no way to penetrate the T-34-85, but from the side I can easily do that. And that is a... what is that? Oh no, that's a Tiger. And they are looking at me. That was kind of risky. They did shoot at me with the machine gun. I think they were reloading, so I think I was safe. Okay, capturing the base. Maybe I should have done this a lot earlier, but you know, was just playing it safe. Would jump in the air battle, but have to be careful not to get flanked. Okay, let's go back in reverse a little bit. What do we have there? Okay, a bunch of tanks all around me, but I don't see them. Well, it looks like the Panther took care of whoever was around this corner, and that means I can probably go a little bit forward. Although by the looks of it, the match is already kind of over. We are winning, and yeah, we have a good lead. We have a very good lead, actually. A very, very good lead. Well, yeah, this was a very smooth victory, and hostile team has lost all vehicles. Nice. That was a very nice little match. Didn't do much, but was still pretty good. I did what I could, actually, given the situation. And let's go to the next match for today. My apologies. Let's go to I think the last match for today. Depending on, yeah, I think this is the last one for today. Okay. Now No, I would actually go and capture the base. I mean, this tank is fast, it can easily go and capture the base, but it is paper and it is not fully leveled yet, so I'm going the longer route and going from the side. Let's see if I can catch some vehicles over here. It would be funny if the entire enemy team just decided to go here. Now this thing, as I mentioned, it can drift, and it can be also a little bit difficult to control when it does drift, but it's not that bad. Just a little bit of counter steering and it should be good. Okay, I went out of the danger zone, and we are now around the center of the map. I should have a good view on the map from this position. And well, let's see how many tanks can I catch. Of course, I'm relying on the enemy team to go through that area, and I rely that they are not going to pay much attention to me, since I have to rely on stealth. Well, not exactly stealth, but have to rely not to be seen or to use cover to stay alive, since as you can see this tank has no armor and anything can easily go through the lightly armored E.B.R. Well, looks like I might actually have to go towards the zone to capture the zone. Should be quite a decent amount of cover available. So hoping that I can run. That was a very nice shot at the medium tank. That's a T-14 also. A heavily armored heavy tank, but I think if I shoot at its side I might be able to kill it. There we go. Okay, nice. It is able to penetrate the side of the T-14. There is a Panzer IV. Thank you for showing the side. Well, I guess we will be capturing the zone. This is also a very good position for the tank. Now that's a Tiger, and yeah, there is just no way that I'm going to be able to penetrate the front of the Tiger from this distance. If they do, however, show me their sides, then I might be able to, or the side turret. I can penetrate the side turret, but definitely not the frontal armor. And they're a little bit angled. Yeah, that's not going to go in. That's definitely not going in. Let me see if I can get to the shell through the... I guess not. Yeah, they're not looking at me. Okay, let's not play with the 88. I was trying to hit the cannon, but didn't. I'm aiming for the machine gun. Did not go in. The accuracy isn't the best, so I'm not really angry at that. Okay, going through this little passage, and let's see what happens next. I mean, we are already winning, so I think this is already a match that is going to conclude very soon. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that was a very nice little match, honestly. Alright, well, that was the E.B.R. Honestly, a very fun to drive light tank. It is ridiculously fast, very mobile, and so far it's been performing really well. Definitely one of the more fun to drive tier 3 tanks in the game. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.